A very good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. It's said that we are seeing ZANU-PF supporters and President Emerson Mnangagwa allies calling for protesters to be shot in Mozambique. Derek Goto, who is a well-known ZANU-PF Murakashi as well as an associate of President Emerson Mnangagwa, says the Mozambican government or the Mozambican state leadership must exercise maximum force to put an end to those disruptions and uphold the stability of the state and SADC region. It is completely unacceptable for a politician who barely secured 20% of the vote to hold an entire nation hostage when the legitimate winner earned an undeniable mandate with over 71%. Let us deal with this first statement. Did he get 71%? Absolutely no. Why? Right here in Zimbabwe, there are people who are on camera admitting to have voted in the Mozambique elections. These people need to be investigated. Mnangagwa is the head of SADC. His own people right here in Zimbabwe, they claim to have voted for a Mozambique in the Mozambican elections. What it means is there was need for thorough investigations to happen. This only can validate the claims of the people of Mozambique to say these elections were rigged. They do not agree with what is happening. There's an issue which Derek Goto is failing to accept, that this matter is still before the Constitutional Court or the Supreme Court of Mozambique, which means he and his people within ZANU-PF, they cannot direct or influence the Mozambican government to use force. What if the courts come out and say whatever which happened, the elections were rigged? Or what if these people in court manages to prove that indeed these elections were rigged? There are incidences which you need to note. Soon after the elections were declared, 2 people from the opposition were shot, a lawyer and a member of another political party which begged the person who is believed to be the opposition right there. And if you look at that scenario, how do you shoot somebody if you have won the election? Why shoot the opponents? The opposition leader there has fled to South Africa and is accused the state or the ruling government of trying to assassinate him. The major question is why? So, we need to be honest with each other. ZANU-PF people, they believe that the method which they used in Zimbabwe in 2018 and 2019 is the rightful method. You just unalive people simply for protesting, something which is enshrined in the constitutions. The reasons why you have seen the Mozambique protest becoming now violent is because the government started to fight the people who were peacefully protesting. Once you start to be violent against your own citizens, you then risk spreading violence all over, because the people who feel that they are legitimately expressing their anger or their own interests, they will start to say, we need to fight back so that we are ahead. So he says the interests of ordinary citizens must take precedence, which he says people have businesses to run, schools to attend, jobs to maintain, and families to support. Which people are you talking about when the same people are fighting against this government? If this government had won by 70%, as you are saying, if this candidate had won by 70%, as you are saying, we would not see a lot of people in those streets. We were supposed to see just a few people, but almost each and every town is protesting against the election results, which is a clear testimony, the true testimony that indeed this party didn't win the elections by 70%. That is manipulation. So, you cannot run elections just like that, rush to congratulate the Mozambique winner without the declaration of the results. And now you are now calling for force to be used in Mozambique. Who does that? This is a clear testimony and a true testament that ZANU-PF people thrive on violence. ZANU people they thrive through forceful means to be in power, to stay in power, and that is how they survive. And they end up exposing themselves by labeling other parties Western baked or whatever. The major question is, why is the Chinese or the Eastern baked political parties consistently refuse to go, and they consistently rig elections, manipulate the will of the people, yet they deliver nothing at the end? If they were rigging elections to deliver, it was better. They rig elections, they don't deliver. They rig elections, people remain poor. They rig elections, the economy gets worse. Why? If you go to Zimbabwe, there is no meaningful currency right now in the nation of Zimbabwe. Everything is going down, and they've refused to take responsibility. Looting is taking precedence. Enriching of the politicians is taking precedence. Nothing is moving. Even parliamentarians themselves, they are no longer attending parliament religiously because of government failure. If you go to the city councils, it seems as if there is sabotage which is happening right there. Who does that when you have won elections? So I believe that ZANU-PF people need to be more serious, and they also need to tell the truth each and every time. In as much as we might agree or disagree, do not unalive people simply for registering their displeasure. The Mozambique people are not armed. They don't have any guns. They are simply fighting back oppression. They are simply fighting back those who have started using guns and bullets against them. There are videos of people being shot, people being killed. I think the number now goes from 16 to above 20, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a very sad situation to see it happening like that. The opposition leader is going into exile. If things were well, why is that happening? Who shot the opposition lawyer? Who shot the opposition high-profile member at 3 a.m.? Soon after the elections had been done? Who did that? How many bullets were shot at that car? What it shows is these are not ordinary people. These are very, very high-profile people, and there are no investigations whatsoever to stop that madness. So Gerald says, just go to your point straight, that they must kill civilians for protesting over what they call a rig. So this is what is happening. They are calling for them to use the force. Why? It's because they want people to be killed more and more and more. But you do not know. You never know. Maybe you might try to use force, and that force then end up being used against you. You don't know what will happen, because sometimes time inenge yasvika kuti vanhu vabve, and you want to use force, and people will then use more force against you. What are you going to do? So one thing they have to remember is that change comes, and sometimes you will not be able to stop change when the time has arrived. So Regiment says people are calling for free, fair, transparent election processes, not results. For fair results are determined by a fair process. Okay, is that difficult to understand? So the major bone of contention in Mozambique is that there are claims that results were altered, and after results were altered, false results which can never be certified were then given. How? 71%. How? What have they done to warrant that kind of support? We need to be honest with each other. We need to be honest and tell each other the truth. So this is what is happening. And Otto von Bismarck says, when Mugabe refused to accept the 2008 results, was ZANU-PF Western-backed political party? This is a very valid question, and they will try by all means possible to deny the fact that ZANU-PF was clobbered in 2008. Robert Mugabe himself then acknowledged that he was defeated. Morgan Tsvangirai got around 70% of the vote, 73% to be specific, and it's true. That is the honest truth. People had rejected Robert Mugabe. Just that the MPs had won in some areas because of with smaller margins, but Robert Mugabe had been defeated outrightly in 2008, but the military was unleashed against the people. No one was in the streets protesting Zimbabwe 2008, no one was in the streets protesting. They were defeated. They then unleashed the military onto the people. Vasina chavaita, vasiri kuprotesta, vasina chavabvunza. They simply unleashed the people, soldiers onto the people. And it happened. We were there. We witnessed it happening. A lot happened in 2008. If we are to investigate, a lot of war veterans vatinavo nhasi vanosungirwa nyaya 2008 because of mass rapes which happened, murders which happened, all sorts of abuse which happened right there. But ZANU-PF will never admit, will never accept or take responsibility. So this is what is happening, and we want to call them to order. Do not continue to ignite fire in Mozambique. Things are no longer well in Mozambique. Do not continue to provoke the Mozambicans, because as much as you are doing this, you are in Zimbabwe, but you are putting in danger Zimbabweans who are in Mozambique, who might be targeted by the people of Mozambique to say, Imima Zimbabweans in the each and every time, innocent civilians will then suffer. And that is not so good. So this is what's happening. ZANU-PF is losing control, is losing ground, but they are now using the tactics of trying by all means possible to unleash terror on others. This is a true reflection of what the party leaders of ZANU-PF believe in, think, because these are people with close proximity to power right in Zimbabwe, and they are actually saying a statement like, use maximum force. The only way you can talk about maximum force is to shoot to kill people, because they are already using maximum force. So what you're saying is shoot to kill. That is not something which is good. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and we'll continue to fight for change. We'll continue to stand in solidarity with the people of Mozambique. Everybody who is oppressed, we pray to God that one day they shall be liberated. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Let us meet in other episodes and other broadcasts.